The cobblestone streets of Camorr glistened with evening rain as Locke crept through the narrow alleyways, his heart pounding against his ribs. The Falconer's latest message had left him with an impossible choice. Through the fog-laden paths between the ancient glass towers, he could feel eyes watching his every move. Bug's death still weighed heavily on his conscience, and now Jean's life hung by a thread. The Bondsmage's magic crackled in the air, leaving a metallic taste in Locke's mouth. As he approached the designated meeting point, the sound of wings echoed through the darkness, and a familiar chill ran down his spine. Inside the abandoned temple, Locke faced the Falconer across a floor decorated with ancient mosaics. The Bondsmage's falcon perched menacingly on his shoulder, its eyes gleaming with unnatural intelligence. Jean lay unconscious in the corner, his normally imposing frame looking vulnerable against the cold stone. The Falconer's offer was simple, yet devastating. Locke's memories of Father Chains in exchange for Jean's life. As magical energy swirled around them, Locke noticed something peculiar about the way the shadows danced on the walls. Perhaps the Falconer wasn't the only one who had prepared for this meeting. The trap was sprung, but nothing went as planned. The Falconer's power proved far more terrible than Locke had anticipated. As Jean stirred to consciousness, the Bondsmage revealed his true intentions. He never wanted Locke's memories, he wanted his suffering. The falcon transformed into something nightmarish, its feathers turning to steel, its cry becoming a sound that shattered glass. Locke's carefully laid counterplot crumbled as the Falconer unleashed his full might. Just as all seemed lost, a familiar voice echoed through the chamber. Standing in the doorway was someone Locke never expected to see again. Someone who should have been dead for years. The amber glow of canal lanterns pierced through the thick evening fog as Locke crept along the narrow ledges of Camorr's ancient bridges. His heart pounded against his ribs, not from the height, but from the weight of what was to come. The Grey King's latest atrocity had left the gentleman bastards with nothing to lose, and tonight's elaborate scheme would either be their salvation or their doom. Jean's wounds were still fresh, but his grip on his hatchets remained steady as he followed Locke through the mist. Below them, the dark waters of the canal carried whispers of their fallen brothers, a constant reminder of the price of failure. In the candlelit depths of their temporary hideout, Bug's carefully crafted alchemical concoctions bubbled ominously. The young thief's hands moved with practiced precision, mixing the deadly brew that would be their key to infiltrating the spider's fortress. Locke watched as Jean meticulously sharpened his blades, the rhythmic sound of steel on stone matching the steady drip of water from the ceiling. The plan was audacious, even by their standards, a simultaneous strike at both the Grey King's operation and the spider's watchful eyes. As Bug sealed the last vial, a knock at their hidden door made everyone freeze. 3 quick taps, followed by 2 slow ones. Kalo's signal, but something felt wrong. The night exploded into chaos as Locke's carefully laid plans collided with the Grey King's own machinations. Through the rain-slicked streets of the Camorr merchants' district, the chase unfolded like a deadly dance. Jean's warning cry came too late as the Bondsmage's spell illuminated the square with unnatural purple light. Locke's mind raced, the pieces suddenly falling into place. The spider hadn't been their enemy at all, but rather, the revelation hit him like a physical blow, even as he dodged the assassin's blade. Behind him, Bug's voice called out in alarm, but the words were lost in the sudden roar of flames. As Locke turned, the world seemed to slow down, and he realized with horror that he'd made a terrible miscalculation. The ancient tower loomed against the stormy Camorr sky, its glass surfaces reflecting the sporadic lightning that illuminated the city's crooked spires. Locke and Jean moved silently through the rain-slicked passages, their hearts pounding with each careful step. The smell of blood and alchemical fire lingered in the air, mixing with the ever-present saltwater scent that permeated the city. Behind them lay a trail of unconscious guards, each carefully positioned to maintain their deception for as long as possible. As they climbed higher, the air grew thinner, and the distant sounds of chaos in the city below became muffled by the howling wind. Jean's wounds from their earlier escape were beginning to slow him down, but determination kept him moving forward, matching Locke's careful pace. The trap was elegant in its simplicity. The Grey King had transformed the tower's upper chambers into a deadly maze of mirrors and shifting shadows. Each reflection could hide an assassin. Each corner could conceal a deadly surprise. Locke's mind raced as he pieced together the puzzle before them, while Jean kept watch, his hatchets ready. The sound of soft laughter echoed through the chamber, seeming to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. As they navigated the treacherous room, Locke caught glimpses of movement in the mirrors, but whether they were facing one opponent or many remained unclear. The alchemical lights cast strange dancing shadows that played tricks on their eyes, making every step a gamble between life and death. The final confrontation erupted in a fury of steel and sorcery. The Grey King's true power was finally revealed as he wielded both blade and spell with terrifying precision. Locke's carefully laid plans began to unravel as the battle intensified, forcing him to improvise with every passing moment. Jean's strength was fading, but his loyalty never wavered as he fought alongside his brother-in-arms. The tower's glass walls trembled with the force of their clash, lightning illuminating the desperate struggle within. Just as victory seemed within their grasp, the Grey King revealed his final devastating secret, one that threatened to destroy not just their lives, but everything they had ever fought to protect. The choice before Locke became clear: sacrifice what he held most dear, or watch Camorr burn. As he raised his blade for the final strike, the tower's highest window shattered, and through it came a figure none of them had expected to see alive. The dawn painted Camorr's towers in hues of amber and gold, as Locke stood atop the ruined remains of what was once the spider's sanctuary. Blood still stained his shirt, and his hands trembled slightly as he counted the cost of their victory. Jean's wounds were severe, but not fatal, and Bug's sacrifice weighed heavily on both their hearts. The city below stirred to life, unaware of the night's epic confrontation that had saved them all. Through the morning mist, the silhouettes of the elder glass bridges gleamed like strands of frozen lightning, their ancient magic undimmed by the chaos that had unfolded beneath them. In the secret chambers beneath the temple of Perilandro, Locke and Jean sorted through what remained of their fortune. The gentleman bastard's legacy lay scattered around them: precious gems, ancient manuscripts, and memories of better days. Father Chains would have been proud, Locke thought, even as he discovered the hidden message left by the Bondsmage. The cryptic warning spoke of greater dangers ahead, of ancient powers stirring in the world beyond Camorr. John watched as his friend's eyes lit up with that familiar spark of mischief. Despite their recent losses, the game wasn't over. It was merely changing. As night fell once more over Camorr, Locke executed the last stage of his plan. The remaining nobles gathered in the Duke's palace, celebrating what they thought was the end of the Grey King's terror. None suspected that the young gentleman who charmed them with tales of distant lands was the very ghost they'd feared. Jean positioned himself among the guards, while Locke wove his final lie of the evening, one that would secure their escape and set the stage for their next grand adventure. But as he raised his glass in a final toast, a familiar face caught his eye across the crowded hall. Someone who should have been dead. Someone who knew all his secrets. And they were smiling.
Thank you for venturing into this realm with me. If you crave more enchanted worlds, mythical battles, and secrets whispered from ancient pages, join the Guild of Storybound Explorers. Subscribe now and ring the bell to unlock every new quest the moment it drops. The next chapter awaits. Will you answer the call?